What's up everyone, Hero276 here, and welcome to today's video, and welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a very spicy team for you featuring GROVYLE, Crustle, and ALOLAN Graveler. We pick up a very horrible lead into Drifblim, we save switch into Crustle, and we're met with an Octillery. Now this isn't a terrible matchup, we can actually sponge here an Octazooka, and what helps even more is that the lock-ons are resisted. Unfortunately, the opponent does successfully debuff us, so Rock Slide won't quite KO, but we should be able to smack down and only have to give up one shield, and then we'll have switch advantage. So it's all going to come down to what do they have in the back, because we know they have a Drifblim, and it's Qwilfish, which isn't terrible. I want to try to bait here with the X-Scissor. Qwilfish is super glassy, so you know they might respect it, but they choose not to. They call my bait. That's a very nice call by my opponent. And as you can see, even though we're double debuffed, Qwilfish is almost already at half health. So we're going to just let the Aqua Tail come through. I'm going to come in with GROVYLE and then look to catch the Sludge Wave onto ALOLAN Graveler. Did we do that? We did. We caught the Sludge Wave on the Rock type. That's super nice. And now we're just going to farm all the way down. And it's just that Drifblim in the back. And we are able to reach the back-to-back Rock Blasts. And this will be getting 2 shields from my opponent. So unfortunately this time they snuck a Hex through, but we're still able to get off the Rock Blast in time, so that's very nice. And we're gonna basically just look to do as much damage as we can, and we're just gonna actually close with Drifblim right here, because we have, you know, enough energy to get to 2 Leaf Blades in time. So we're gonna go for Leaf Blade number 1. Even though it's resisted, does big damage, and my opponent does surrender there. So that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next match. And we pick up a lead against Dragonite. This is awful. So we're going to safe switch into Crustle. And we actually lure out an Obstagoon, which isn't too bad. It is a counter user. But we actually only take neutral from counter. Not to mention, we deal super effective, as you can see, with X-Scissor, so that's actually very nice for us. This isn't a bad matchup. So we're going to look just to smack all the way down, commit a shield if we have to, and the fact that they threw off alignment lets us get that smack down through, which is very nice, meaning we'll only have to shield once, and we can smack down. Now my opponent does decide to come in with a Grand Ball right here, and we blind for the X-Scissor, so my opponent's going to no-shield that. And this is actually very bad for us, because we do not do well with Charmers. So as you can see, Charm does big damage. None of our Pokemon truly resist Charm. However, we will be able to get shields with these Leaf Blades, which is very nice. I'm actually going to hold on to the GROVYLE and come in and look to Volt Switch down with the ALOLAN Graveler. So we're going to shield the close combat right there, and my opponent stays in to let themselves get farmed down, and that is huge because we don't have to take as much Charm damage. Now Dragonite comes back in, and this Rock Blast won't feel too good. Gets the second shield, and Dragonite's going to feel this next Rock Blast in the morning. We'll be doing big damage, and then 1 Volt Switch should be enough to take care of the Dragonite, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Hopping into the next match, and we got a lead against Venomoth. This is not good. So we're going to safe switch into Crustle, as we've done. Crustle's kind of our designated safe switch for the team, and we lure out a Jellicent, which actually isn't too bad because we have 2 Pokemon that do fairly well up against Jellicent. They shield the Rock Slide, which leads me to believe that they have Bubble Beam and are just going straight Bubble Beam in this matchup. So yeah, they look to debuff me there. They're able to reach a second Bubble Beam, which is not ideal, but we should still be able to reach another Rock Slide before they take us out. And I'm just going to keep shield advantage here. So I'm going to throw the Rock Slide. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but Jellicent gets nice and low right there, which is very good. And at this point, I'm just going to come back in with GROVYLE and look to farm all the way down. I'm going to keep shield advantage here, so I'm not going to shield this move, but it is unfortunately a Shadow Ball. But my opponent looks to try to catch on a Venomoth, but I'm able to catch onto a ALOLAN Graveler. And this is the Poison Fang, so it won't do a ton of damage. And I'm just going to look to get as much energy as possible. I try to go for the Rock Blast, but unfortunately I lose CMP. I shield, and I correctly shield a Bug Buzz, which is very nice. I'm going to look to go for the Rock Blast right here. This will take care of the Venomoth, but they have Nidoqueen in the back. Oh, this is so bad. I have to hope that my opponent no-shields the Leaf Blade, and they definitely will because they commit the shield there on the Rock Blast. Now I know this is just a Poison Fang, so I will be able to get off another Rock Blast in time just simply by under-tapping, and we're able to get off a Rock Blast, and that's huge because we need Leaf Blade to do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, I don't think Leaf Blade is going to do enough damage to take out the Nidoqueen from this range. It still hurts a lot, but not enough. So that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's move right into the next match. The bad leads continue as we pick up a lead against Laurentis. I'm going to try to look to get to the Aerial Ace since it will be doing super effective damage. My opponent does throw here. I call the Leaf Blade, and it is just the Leaf Blade, which is resisted and very nice. So now we're going to go for the Aerial Ace, and my opponent does decide to commit a shield. We make a misplay by coming into a Alolan Graveler, but my opponent decides to swap in Registeel, and I'm actually super thankful now that I did this, because Alolan Graveler is our only real response to Registeel. Specifically because Alolan Graveler can deal big neutral damage with the electric moves, and it also resists the lock-ons and the zap cannons, so they're forced to go for Focus Blast, and I actually decide to commit shields there to protect myself from it. So I'm going to just look to get as much energy as I can. I don't think I'll be able to Volt Switch down, so as you're going to see in a minute here, we are going to look to farm up as many Volt Switches as possible and then throw the Rock Blast just to secure the KO. We probably could have farmed down, but I wanted to play it safe. And then in the back is a Wall Rain, and you know what's going to happen here. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare your headphones. Boom! Thunderbolt nearly KOs the Wall Rain. We're able to farm down with a Volt Switch. Laurentis is forced to throw energy, and unfortunately, down goes Alolan Graveler, but it did a hell of a job. So now we're just going to come in with GROVYLE. Laurentis throws again, and Crustle, as long as it reaches an X-Scissor, should be in the clear, and it looks like we're going to. Laurentis is going to throw a move, and it's actually the superpower, which is going to debuff them one stage. So they must have thought, seeing the rock type, that I'd take super effective, but no, it's just neutral. X-Scissor KOs the Laurentis, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next match. I've lost count as to how many horrible leads we've faced. Skarmory's terrible. We're going to go right into Crustle. My opponent stays in a little bit. And they actually come in with a Roserade, and I believe this Roserade is running Razor Leaf, if I remember correctly. Try saying that 5 times fast. Razor Leaf, Roserade, Razor Leaf, Roserade, Razor Leaf, Roserade. It's actually not that bad. So I'm going to go straight into Crustle, and we're just going to look to throw some energy right here. Roserade actually goes down, and now we have both Switch and Shield advantage. A Unnovan Stunfisk decides to enter and throw their energy. We're letting Crustle go down, and we're going to trust in GROVYLE to handle this thing. So we're going to farm up to the Leaf Blade. They decide to throw their energy. Perfectly fine. That's okay. Mud Bomb's going to tickle a little bit, and then Skarmory comes in, and we have a very hard counter in Alolan Graveler. Alolan Graveler going to be doubly resisting these flying moves. Sky Attack does absolutely nothing, and my opponent decides to surrender. So that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the bonus battles. Hopping into the first bonus battle, and we pick up a Jellicent Lead. This is not great. It's very dangerous, actually. But my opponent swaps out into Talonflame, and we have 2 rock types in the back, and we bring in Crustle. Smacking all the way down. Talonflame doesn't even get to a move, and now my opponent is stunned. They've just learned about the power of rock types, and they bring in their third, which is Victreebel. And we should have this game locked and loaded. X-Scissor going to be doing some modest damage to the Victreebel, and at this point, we're able to get to the Rock Slide. This will be doing big damage to the Victreebel unless they shield, and they do commit both shields. So now we have a 2-0 shield advantage, and we're just going to go straight Aerial Ace right here. We're going to look to shield up whatever move this is, and it's the Sludge Bomb, so what a perfect shield there. We're going to go for the Aerial Ace here to take care of the Victreebel right here. So down goes Victreebel, and now it's just that Jellicent in the back. So I actually decided to bring a Alolan Graveler in because I wanted to get some use out of it. So we're going to look to no shield here. It is unfortunately the Shadow Ball, and that means we're not going to be able to get to this Thunderbolt in time. But we still have GROVYLE, and GROVYLE will be able to get to the Leaf Blade in time. This will be taking care of the Jellicent, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next match. Alright, we are hopping into our penultimate bonus battle, and we have the GROVYLE Mirror. This is not bad, but my opponent's going to swap into Talonflame, and we counter-respond with the ALOLAN Graveler. You'll love to see it. Flame Charge and Incinerate are resisted, and Brave Bird is double resisted. But I actually don't want to commit 2 shields here, so I'm going to throw 2 Volt Switches and look to throw the Rock Blast right here, just to solidify the KO. And then the GROVYLE decides to come back in. But these Rock Blasts are still going to be doing a lot of damage to this GROVYLE, as you can see, bringing it into the yellow. So, not a bad matchup. And we're going to be able to get off another Rock Blast. Are you kidding me? Rock Blast is going to get a shield. So we're going to look to farm up to another Rock Blast, but the threat of reaching another one actually forces my opponent to throw. So I'm perfectly content with letting the ALOLAN Graveler go down. So now we come in with Crustle. We actually simultaneously switch, and I actually switch in GROVYLE at the same time they come in with their third, which is a Politoed. And at this rate, this game is more than over, if it hasn't been already. So we're just going to look to Bullet Seed all the way down, sponge the Weather Ball, and we leave with the Leaf Blade. So I'm actually going to build up to the back-to-back Leaf Blades. The first Leaf Blade should be getting the shield, but I believe my opponent just decides to let it go through because I think they know it's over. So that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into our final battle. Alright, we've got one more for you guys today, and we lead into a Toxicroak. Not great, because Bullet Seeds and Leaf Blades will be resisted, but Aerial Ace is super effective. And hopefully my opponent does not know about Aerial Ace, and they don't, and Aerial Ace lands and does nice damage. My opponent's actually looking to farm all the way down, but that proves to be a mistake, as GROVYLE is going to be able to reach a Leaf Blade, and that grabs the shield. So Toxicroak is very low. We're going to try to snipe with a ALOLAN Graveler, but they throw their energy. I am going to shield it just in case it is the Mud Bomb, but they actually blind throw the Sludge Bomb. So, we're even shields, we don't have switch advantage, and in comes Shadow Hypno. I'm going to throw the Thunderbolt right here. Unfortunately, a Confusion does sneak through, but my opponent gives me their second shield. We actually catch a move onto Crustle here, and this is hopefully just a punch. And it is just a punch, so that's very nice. My opponent does a late switch into Jellicent, and this is actually not too bad for us right now. So, we're going to be able to reach a Rock Slide before we're debuffed. That puts Jellicent into the yellow, and really, we just need to keep on smacking down. Jellicent decides to go for a move. It's a Bubble Beam. We take that no problem, and we're actually going to be able to reach an X-Scissor right here, and this will chip at the Jellicent a little bit. So X-Scissor gets the Jellicent nice and low to the point where 1 Volt Switch will KO. And it's actually CMP right there. So we just let this go and Volt Switch down. Volt Switch KOs the Jellicent. We are 1 Volt Switch away from the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will do massive damage to the Hypno, almost taking it out. And we sneak a Volt Switch through, so all we have to do is just shield, and that should be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. That's going to do it for the battles. Let's head into an analysis. All in all, what I thought was going to be a total flop turned out to be a huge success. We went positive on the day, and I'm actually very excited to use this team again in the Retro Cup. Anyways, if you like the music that you hear in the background, be sure to check out my Spotify link below, where you can have access to all of my music. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.